Okay, we're here with Ben Bacon of Your Peak Performance. We're here at the Jubilee Fields at Three Bridges FC. Ben, cheers for inviting us down, pal.
Pleasure.
Now, what we're here to ask Ben about is, what does it actually take, sports and conditioning wise, fitness wise, to actually make a county league player? One from going from grassroots up to like step 6.
Yeah, sure. So if you take out the side of ability and technical ability, and we're just focusing on purely on people's fitness and strength conditioning, you will see that throughout every league, and this is pretty standard, everyone understands this, but the levels are greater, and everyone talks generally about fitness, so that is a massive part of it. But then also when you move up the leagues, you have so many other different elements that people have and different parts of like their makeup that make them that standard. So you will have fitness, yeah, of course, like the fitness levels as you go from county to your grassroots to Isthmian and the pro levels is much greater. What those guys can produce, the numbers they can produce are much greater. But then you also have to look at the other things that they have. They also are normally quicker, they normally also move better, they normally control their body fat better, they do so much better, and that separates people from being normally the difference in the league. So even things when it comes to like how they sleep, you know, so there's all these different factors, and don't get me wrong, someone with the greater technical ability will be higher up in the pyramid anyway. That being said, you can have these guys that are a hell of a lot less technical, but their strength conditioning side and the way they look after themselves moves them up. So that's what I try and encourage everyone that I work with to look at. Like, what are the variables that you can control? And that is things like your speed. And like, don't get me wrong, you can't just naturally, if you're really slow, you're not going to be faster than the fastest person, but you can bring that up a bit. Then you can move up, say, your fitness levels with that. You can, say, reduce your body fat, which is then going to tie in with the other factors that are going to then make you that next level and that little bit better of an athlete. So it is about how much time you want to put in and how much you look after yourself. And you will, if you go through the leagues, and I've been involved with players, and I've played from like real grassroots, and I've been involved with players at like high levels in the professional game, and it's just the amount of time they dedicate. And like when you look at the pre-seasons and what the guys do at grassroots compared to you start getting county level, it's just that little bit more intense, and it's better, and there's better people running it normally, people with more knowledge and ideas. So
Is that like what you do now? What you're doing today with all the lads out here?
Yeah, today was a really good session. It was a really high level session. We've done a block over the summer in the off season, so I'll give everyone a couple of weeks off, and then we're back in. And we're back in from, I believe it was mid-May we came back in, and I eased them in. Like, we had some speed work, agility and endurance, as I always do. I mix everything up, movements, power, plyometric work. Now, what we did is gradually increase that until today's session. Today was our last one. Most clubs will go back in next week for pre-season. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to put them through their paces, and I wanted to see who could reach that level. And there was guys out here that have been at professional clubs all their life, and the difference, you can see it. You then had guys, no disrespect to them, like fair play coming down there, they put it into the end, but they played like the grassroots. There was like, and then lower county levels, some youth players coming through, and you can see the difference. Like, you can see how like the guy who's been at the pro, he finished it all first. He was in like the races pretty quick and stuff, and then you look visually at him and he's conditioned, you know. So he's looked after himself to keep at that level. Someone might not have that same natural athleticism as he does, but he's lived the life, you know, more, and that's put in there. But today was probably one of the toughest sessions I ever done. I mean, you witnessed it, but today I wanted to push him. I wanted to really push him today. Because there were some good players here today that want to play and aspire to play a high level. So I wanted to put that on today, and anyone that comes and joins in today that isn't at that level, just see what they can do. And everyone did that. It was class, to be fair, today.
Can I ask you how important at this level is with recovery?
Yeah, of course. So their recovery is massive. Like, what we did today is going to tax their body. It's going to tax the muscles, but also it's going to, even like mentally, it's going to be taxing from them. So what they do from the moment we stopped matters. The moment we stopped, we had a stretch off and we cooled down. Now, again, when you're talking about moving up the leagues, the better the player, and the better the standard, and the more they care about themselves, their recovery will be even greater. You see it sort of like at lower levels, it's just stretch today, off you go. You start getting to the higher levels, and they have a whole recovery protocol. So they'll have, they'll normally go and go to the chiro next day. They'll go to the cryotherapy. Sorry, they'll go to put the boots on. They will have foam rolling. They will have ice baths. They will make sure they get in their 8 hours sleep. You know, whereas like you start heading down the leagues a bit. And
is that key, the sleep? Do you think?
What's that? Sorry,
how key is it? The sleep?
Oh, the sleep's massive. Yeah, that's priority in the recovery protocol. That's priority. But the greater the level you go, the more they're doing, and they're doing every little bit, because every bit of that recovery they can add makes a massive difference to then their next session. So if they've done something intense Saturday and then Monday their club wants them to do some training again to whatever level it is, if they're recovered better, they're going to perform better, and then they're going to keep growing as a player and keep getting fitter. If their recovery's crap, then their performance on those next coming days is going to be worse.
And just finally then, Ben, what's the one bit of advice you'd give to the player making that step up from step 7 up to step 6 and above?
So step 6 or step 7, moving into that, the bar isn't too high, really. You're probably doing nowhere near what somebody at step 1, 2 will be doing. Like you're not. You know, you're very, very unlikely I meet anyone at that level that's doing that. My advice is just to start looking at what they're doing and implementing a certain percentage of it, and start adding that into their lifestyle. Whether it be that they say, right, I'm going to do a little bit better recovery, I'm going to hit the gym once more, I'm going to do a run, or whatever that may be, or look at my nutrition. Just start adding a percentage to it. All right.